Good evening all. Doing a quick review of a Stamina Templar dual wield back bar greatsword build here on the PTS, simply because my Stamplar doesn't quite have two-handed level up on the regular PC server, but hey, what are you going to do? These days bowplars are really getting some love, but after a little bit of testing, this build does quite nice. So let's dive into it. For this I'm running Pillar of Nirn front bar for both of my daggers, Nirnhone flame damage for the main hand, and charged poison for the offhand. The back bar, shockingly, unsurprisingly, we have the Maelstrom's Greatsword, perfected if you got it, and fused with weapon damage. On the headpiece we have a light piece of Slime Craw, for that extra crit chance. Divines with Stamina, our only source of light armor in this build. For the most of the body we're using Reliquins, all Divines, all max Stamina, perfected if you have it, not a game changer if you don't have it. One of the body pieces, doesn't really matter which, is going to have to be Pillar, of course Divines with max Stam. For the neck piece we're using the Urmage Amulet, Bloodthirsty, of course, with a multi-effect. With a Stamplar using Beam during Execute, I find having a little bit of extra mag recovery is nice. It's not the end of the world, but it's up to you what you want to use in terms of the 10 mag or 10 Stam recovery. Pillar of Nirn rings, both Bloodthirsty. I have stamina recovery on these. If I had my way, which I should have before taking this video, I would have added 10's mag instead, but hey, what are you going to do? Of course, all attributes into stamina. The Mundus is the thief, of course. Race, I'm using Dark Elf. Dark Elf is meta, of course. Orc would be okay. High Elf would probably not. But honestly, you can make this build work with anything. Skills. Front bar, we have Radiant Oppression to start using at 33% health, and then Execute at 20%. Degeneration, excellent dot. Power the Light, excellent for burst damage. Also nice for that the Sundering status effect. It used to apply Minor Breach, now it does Sundering, but with the update to status effect, Sundering does wonders for a DPS. Biting Jabs, your main spammable until 20%. No, 33%, excuse me. Excellent direct damage, great for trash. Barb Trap, excellent dot. Don't really need it for the minor force since we're running the Urmage's Amulet, but one hell of a dot. Flawless Dawnbreaker for the Fighter's Guild passive only on the front bar. Back bar ultimate, we have Shooting Star from the Mage's Guild tree, meta for all meta for all Templars. Great for trash, great for single target. Solar Barrage, this skill goes above and beyond on a Plar. The extra 5% damage done to class abilities for the duration is just insane. I mean the passive damage is nice, but you're really using it for the 5%. The Empower buff is useless on this build, and I would say in general, but to each their own. Stampede, source of our weapon damage, enchant being procced on our back bar. Great dot as well. Ritual of Retribution, this Plar's favorite dot. I have not done the math on this guy, but this is one hell of a dot. And make sure to cast it on cooldown, but don't do it too early, because you really want that increased 12% per tick, and that last tick is mighty powerful. Vampire's Bane, excellent dot. And of course, Carve, traditional for most two-handed back bar builds. For champion points, we really only care about the blue tree. We're running Exploiter, Deadly Aim, Thermitage, and Wrathful Strikes. The way this build is set up is such that you do not have to run any Fighting Finesse or Backstabber. Lastly, but not leastly, are potions. For a Plar, a Stamplar, you're probably going to need both spell power and weapon power pots. Biting Jabs takes a toll off of your stamina. You have some mag skills that you're going to use throughout the parse. I found myself needing a little bit of stamina. And starting at about 33%, you're going to want to swap over to Spellcaster. It is possible to do during the parse. However, it is tricky. You need to be quick on your fingers. If you are not so quick on your fingers, you can just keep the the spell power pots on your bar, and you should be able to be okay. But depending on the race, depending on your rotation, how good or bad it is, it may affect you. And of course, lava foot soup for food. Alright, we're going to start off with the weapon power pot, get some ultimate, and we're going to get into this bad boy. So pre-buff, we're going to take our potion, hit Solar Barrage, walk and hit Barb Trap, hit Power the Light, hit Degeneration. No, I'm sorry, I did that backwards. Potion, Solar Barrage, Stampede, Power the Light, Degeneration, Carve, Vampires, Rituals, and then we're into it. I might have screwed that up. Just look at what I do and I'll say it as I do it. Potion, Barrage, Trap, Stampede, Carve. Yeah, I messed it up, sorry. Power of the Light, Degeneration, Bane, Ritual, Ultimate, and we're in. We are in. I only use my my carves one at a time. I don't stack all three at once. I did screw up just a little bit right there, but hey, happens to everybody. And once it's at 3, of course, then you'll just cast it on cooldown. Now, technically with this build, you don't really need to run any potions for the first 70 or some odd percent until you start beaming, because between Degeneration, Jabs, and Vampire's Bane, you're actually getting all the buffs you need. I still recommend using it just in case you're late to getting one of those skills off. Especially when every dot needs replacing at the same time. And hopefully you don't lag out and do your skills too early like I just did and lost all your carve stacks. Not the end of the world, just gradually get it back up to 3. Should try to cast Barb Trap with 2 seconds to spare, as it takes 1.5 seconds to cast. Now, we're getting close to 33%. I'm going to slow down on my potion usage. And I'm actually going to swap real quick to my potion. I was able to manage it easily this time. Not always look so lucky. I should not have used that, but we're at 33%. So at 33%, you're going to keep all your dots up, but instead of using biting jabs, you're going to use beam as your quote spammable. And then once you get to 20%, you're going to let all your dots fall off except Barb Trap, Solar Barrage, and Stampede. So we're under 20. I'm going to keep up that Barb Trap. Keep up Power of the Light as well for that burst damage. And you'll want to keep up Solar Barrage for the additional 5% to that beam. No need to use your ultimate. Beam does wonders. And we got 212. Not the best in the West. I did hit 117 earlier before taking this video, but of course, depending on your crit chance and farming your crit damage, it may or may not give you the best results during. As you can see, we are hitting the 127%. 127% for crit damage. That is the ceiling. That is where you want to be. It looks like I actually hit 113, not 112 as indicated down here. Majority of your damage ends up coming from Radiant Oppression. Biting Jabs coming in second and Reliquant in third. I like this build. It's nice. I'm a Bobo man myself, so my Stamplar on PC is going to remain a Bobo, but if you're looking for something that's dual wield, two-handed back bar, this is absolutely viable. You're not going to be looking at too much damage loss running something that's not a Dark Elf. Alright, see y'all around.